Good morning, it's the weekend. I've just made my coffee. I slept in a little bit today because I was up all night editing my routine video. So I thought that today I would make a video about how I stay happy in life despite the many challenges and hardships that come about, because there have been plenty, I can tell you. And yeah, so I'm also going to just take you guys around with me again on my day as I share. I'm in my car. I haven't driven for a few days. I'm used to driving every day, but I've been riding my bike, so it is nice to have a break and be able to just get in the car and drive. So normally on the weekends I don't exercise, I have a break, and I'm just going down to the bakery because we've cut down a lot on our takeaways. And so instead of buying like McDonald's and stuff every week, my kids get to have a treat on the weekend. So I go down to the bakery and I buy them a pie and some hot chips, and they really look forward to that all week. And for me, I'm gonna come back home and make my oats for breakfast. So I've also just picked up some fresh blueberries because I don't have anything at home to go with my oats. So I'm going to have these with my oats. So today I really wanted to talk about how I continue to feel happy in my life despite challenges and hardships. So I'm going to share 10 ways that I do this. The first is to see the lesson in the challenge. So this is going to be difficult for anybody out there who's not on a spiritual path, and meaning that they are not open to awakening to their true nature and seeing the bigger picture in life. Fortunately for me, that has been my path. So I did have an awakening experience many years ago that really crushed all of my previous ideas and notions of reality and victimhood, and really allowed me to see that I chose this life, I chose my challenges, I chose my lessons. And I'm not about to go around saying to people who have lost a loved one or are experiencing a lack of money or a loss in some way that, oh, you don't need to suffer because you chose this. There's a lesson in it for you, because not everybody's here to see it that way or to experience it that way or wants to hear that. And I can relate because I don't actually see this reality myself until after the challenge has passed. So you might think that I have a very happy life because I'm always cheerful and I'm always positive, but I do experience lots of challenges and hardships in my life. I just don't share about them because they often involve my children and I want to protect their privacy. But there have been some challenges as a parent that have left me feeling a sense of loss and heartbreak and extreme fear and suffering. And it is not easy for me in those moments to see the bigger picture and to see that I chose this and that there is a lesson to come out of it. So no, we can't always see this in the middle of it, but what helps to generally feel happy in life is to look back after the challenge and to see that something was gained and learned from that challenge, and that had that not occurred, then we may not have learned what we now know. We have like a heightened sense of awareness and wisdom that was not there before. Something has been gained from that experience. So that leads me to number 2, which is to see the growth. So this, in a similar way to seeing the lesson, we do need to have the awareness that what's happening is growing my soul. It's making me a better person. It's making me more wise and more strong. And this also doesn't always happen in the midst of a difficult challenge or hardship. But if we can look back after, we tend to see that we are not who we were during that challenge or before that challenge. We are somebody new. We have changed in some way, and for the good. We know better. We feel more love and connection to other people. And the next one is to recognize our resiliency and strength. So often we don't see ourselves as strong when we're in the middle of a difficult challenge or a hardship. We feel like a failure. We feel weak and helpless. But if we come out of that difficult time, we can see that we made it through something that we didn't think we would be able to make it through. And this has happened to me so many times, and I look back and I think, how have I survived that thing? And I can tell you that there have been many for me, including a drug overdose at age 16 and a loss of income and having to live on the road in a tent, and having to sort of live without the homely comforts of a house, and lots of different things, having to move home because the owner has sold it, relationship problems, parenting issues, like so many, isolation, like so many things that have happened. And I have been able to look back and think, how have I made it through that? Like, wow, like I'm so resilient. I didn't fall apart. I didn't crumble. I made it through the other side. So that brings me to the next one, which is to let yourself hurt. So often we are trying to get out of our feelings, escape the pain and the suffering, and run away and blame somebody or something. But to feel happy in life, part of that is allowing the sadness and the disappointment and the pain and the suffering. So being happy doesn't mean that you're always feeling good and happy. It means that you allow yourself to feel whatever's happening and to go with the flow and to not argue with reality and to just accept what's happening around you and in your body and your feelings, and to have like this some kind of allowance and acceptance of what's occurring, instead of arguing and fighting it and saying this shouldn't be happening, to say this should be happening because it is happening, to surrender into it and embrace it, to let yourself cry and be angry, go out into the bush and scream at somebody that has hurt and upset you, just to yourself out loud. Journal, write down your feelings, talk to somebody about it, get a therapist or a healer, or do meditations, anything to learn how to come back into the body and accept and allow what's happening in the moment rather than pushing it away and fighting it. Another thing is to let yourself be loved. So what I find with myself is when I'm going through a difficult time, I tend to push people away. And this is a habit that I learned in childhood that I have been spending many years trying to heal and overcome. And I'm not perfect. I still go into my little world, into my little shell, and I don't want to allow the love in to me. So, that's a really big thing, because we tend to blame ourselves for things that are happening and bad situations and the hardships. We tend to go, it's all my fault. We tend to feel guilty, especially when our children are involved. I cannot tell you how many times I've blamed myself for my children's challenges when really it's for them to go through and it has nothing to do with me. But when I feel guilty and I'm blaming myself, I tend to not allow love because I feel I don't deserve it. Like, this bad thing is happening, I shouldn't feel good. I shouldn't feel loved. I should feel awful. I should punish myself and just, feel bad. That's not helpful. So what can be helpful is, even how difficult it is, even to just let it in little bits at a time, a little bit of love. Let somebody touch you or hug you or ask if you're okay. Even if you say, thank you, I'm okay, I appreciate, your concern, but I wish to be alone. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't push it away. Don't reject it because you feel that you don't deserve love because of what's happening. And that leads me to the next one, which is to be authentic and honest. So rather than pushing people away and saying, I don't want to talk about it, it's very important to talk about what's going on and to be honest with people around you. Even if you just say, I don't feel good right now. I feel like it's my fault. I feel like a failure. I feel responsible. I'm hurting right now. Or if your children are asking you why you're sad and what's wrong, to tell them. To not be afraid that by being honest and talking to them about your feelings that you're going to scare them and make them worried. Children love to be let into their parents' world. They love to know what's going on and how their parents are feeling. And when we share our authentic and honest selves with others, they learn to trust us, for one, and for two, it teaches them to do the same. It shows them not to bottle up their feelings, that it's okay to be honest about what's going on, because there's no shame in how we're feeling and what's happening. So I feel like it's very important to be open and honest about what's going on. Find somebody to talk to about it, and rather than shut down when people are trying to connect, to, even if you're not going into detail, like for me, I can't always tell people what's going on if it involves my children, but I can say, I'm going through a very difficult time right now. I'm keeping it to myself, but I do feel very hurt and upset, and it is affecting me. So another way to be happy in life and to get through the challenges and hardships that occur is to have a really good support network. So for me, I don't have a lot of friends. I really only have my close family, and I have people that I see day to day. But I'm very happy with my family being my support network. So that means having a very good, loving, intimate relationship. So I feel like nobody's going to really be able to get through life, the ups and downs, and to have a happy outlook if they are in an unhealthy relationship, if they're not being treated right or valued by their partner. This is very important, and a lot of people stay in these unhealthy relationships because they feel like it's the right thing to do, and they feel that they'd rather be unhappy than be alone. But actually, there's more growth and joy to be found in letting go of unhealthy relationships and unhealthy networks and communities that aren't serving you than to stay in them and feel terrible. So having a good support network can just mean surrounding yourself during these hard times with the people that know you best and love you the most and see and recognize and value you. And don't open yourself up and share your pain and your suffering with people that really don't care, or people that are going to judge you or not help you to heal. So for me, that's my children and my husband and my parents. This is my support network, and I also have a life coach and people that I can go to, like a therapist. So these are the people I trust, because I know that their goal is to love me and help me and not bring me down any further. They're going to embrace and accept what I'm going through. So another way to be happy in life despite the ups and downs is to believe in something higher than yourself. So it's not like we can go around telling people to believe in God, believe in angels and spirit guides, believe in heaven, because we don't actually want to push our belief systems onto other people. But speaking personally for myself, believing that there is an afterlife and believing that I am guided and supported by the universe, whether that's God or the law of attraction or spirit guides or angels or my higher self, that helps me feel supported and helps me to see that I'm not this small human being that's limited to this body, and that I'm a victim with no way out and no choice. To see that we do, in believing in something higher than ourselves, it helps us to see that we have choice. So we can't always choose the circumstances and the hardships that occur in our life, but we can choose how we feel about it. We can choose the perspective that we have. So I feel like seeing that there is another part of ourselves that's not just this small helpless victim, that there is a higher part of ourselves, that there is a higher realm that's guiding us. It helps us to be able to shift into that perspective and reality, and to look at what's happening from a higher perspective, and to see that, well, we don't have to be victims. Yes, this is painful. Yes, I could be suffering for months or even years, but I don't have to let it define me. I don't have to let it ruin the rest of my life. I can still live. I can still find joy in other things. So the next thing I want to talk about is having a plan or a goal. So often if we feel like we're just stuck in life and we have no choice but to just follow the 9-to-5 job, and we barely see our children, we're unhappy, and we just feel like life is dragging us down, that's going to make us feel like the majority of our life is a hardship, it is a challenge. So it's very important to set goals and plans. So when something is going wrong, rather than feel like there's no way out and feel stuck, to have a plan to move out of that, to have a future goal. Like, you know, my husband recently lost his income, and it's been about 7 weeks, and it's been very difficult and challenging. And right before that happened, I had just paid off all my debts. I had just prepared to start paying my tax debt, and I was feeling really good about the goals that I had achieved for myself. And then this just hit, and it's been very challenging and very difficult. And what's kept me going is to have a plan and a goal, and to say, okay, the worst case scenario is this. What can we do to get through it in this way? In the past, if we've been asked to move out of our home, or we've lost income and we can't afford rent, we've made a plan to use our money to buy a caravan and travel and live cheaply on the road, or buy a tent and move from camping ground to camping ground. And this has been very rewarding and fun for us. We did this off and on for 10 years because we were a low income family, and this way we didn't have all the bills and everything racking up. And to us, hearing that we had to move out, rather than feeling victimized and scared and desperate. We made a plan and made a goal. Okay, this is how we're going to get out of this. This is how we're going to move forward. So if there's a difficult challenge, like, you know, your child's going through something, try and have like a goal to move forward that obviously that they agree with and they feel good about, or, you know, have a plan in your own mind to how you're going to move forward in a positive way. And the last thing that I want to share about being happy and embracing the ups and downs is to live a life you enjoy. So if you are not happy in your job, change jobs. Think about what kind of career suits my soul better. What kind of job brings out the best in me and supports who I really am as a person and my values and my passions and my goals. And have fun with your kids. Don't make life all about work, because children crave the intimacy and connection with parents. They want to have fun, and the only reason that adults don't have as much fun as children is because we've been conditioned out of that. We've been conditioned to believe that fun stops when you reach the teenage years, and you have to get serious and get a job and work hard, and then you spend your life working and saving, and you pay off mortgages, and then you retire and you look back and think, where was the fun? Of course you're not going to be a happy person in life. You're going to complain constantly. And this is one thing that I don't do, and I haven't done for many, many years, is I don't complain about my life. I say, this makes me upset, I'm angry, I'm not happy, this is not on, this is upsetting, disappointing. Yes, I get into moments where I'm arguing with reality, but it's very short-lived. The difference between that and complaining is when you complain, you feel like you don't have a choice or a way out. You feel like you have no choice but to live the life that society says you have to live. You have to work hard and have no play. But actually life is meant to be based around play. Our jobs are meant to reflect what we love to play and do and what we're passionate about. So if you want to have a general positive outlook on life and feel good despite the challenges and hardships, make sure you're doing the things that you enjoy. And even if there's some things that we don't enjoy that we have to do, make sure that it's moving in the direction of a goal or a plan to be doing the things that we really want to do. So I just got back from the pool with my youngest, and I'm starving, so I made myself some lunch. It's just a salad with some mixed greens, lettuce and spinach, onion, tomato, cucumber, a bit of avocado, garlic powder, pepper, and some lime squeezed in there. And I made some air fried chips. I just tossed my potato in some seasonings. There's no oil, and they came out perfectly crispy. So that's my lunch. I just want to show you my pretty Christmas tree. So I'm about to go pick up my eldest son and his girlfriend from their place. We're going to the movies to see Moana 2, and I'm taking one of my other teenagers with me, and I'm really excited because I have been craving movie popcorn for so long, and it's been months since I had it, and I'm really looking forward to treating myself to a big box of movie popcorn. My darling husband is fixing our car, so he's going to stay home with the other two kids. I also have brought an apple with me in case I need a snack, a healthy one.